My last thing I remember is asking Ronnie and one of the nurses that was there, do you think I'll make it? Do you think I'll live? And they said yes. And then they put me out, and I didn't wake up again until Germany. I grew up in Orange Grove, Texas, a small town west of Corpus Christi. Grew up hunting and fishing with my grandpas, my dad, and eventually got a mentor, Bill Gorbett, that really took me under his wing and got me really hunting. Deer, hogs, raccoons, doing a lot of stuff with dogs, working dogs. Taught me how to ride a horse, taught me how to do a lot of things, you know. I was walking down the hallway my freshman year to Mr. Conrad's class, and he bailed out of the door. You know, it's that intermission where you're headed to class or coming back from class, and he ran out the door and said they just took out the second tower. Turned the TV on, and they were just showing the second tower being hit by an airplane. And within moments, we were kind of getting the idea of who did it. And my friend BJ was in class with me, and we both turned to each other and said, if we end up in a war, that we were going to be a part of it. 2005 came, I joined the Marine Corps, and I went to boot camp, and then went to SOI, where I decided to become a machine gunner. I was infantry, but that's what I wanted to do. And then I deployed in 2007 to Iraq, and then came back 7 months later. We deployed to Afghanistan. What I didn't know was that my best friend, Colton, who was a few years younger than me, would actually be a part of that invasion, and he would get killed there in 2010. We, at the time, we had been there for 3 or 4 months, and we hadn't had any mail. And combat trans, which is you know, usually 30 vehicles deep, heavy armor, was headed to our base, and our lieutenant wanted us to do a show of support out there with him. And as we went out there, we were buddy team rushing in vehicles, which isn't the smartest thing to do, but that's what we were told to do. And I struck another IED. My friend Doc Burnett was killed pretty much instantly. My friend Joe Purim was launched out of the door and sustained 65% burns. My other friend, Anthony Villarreal, was launched out the other door and received 90% burns. I was launched 40 feet in the air, and I landed on the engine block that was on fire. And I figured that was it. I figured I was toast for sure. And I'd always wondered about God, and my last thought before I hit that truck was, I'm about to find out. I hit, and I can't move anything. I'm completely paralyzed at the time, just from the impact, which I didn't feel. I landed like I was on a feather bed. And I was finally able to move my hand, and then I was able to move my arm. And when I did that, my friends Jeff Rhodes and Doc Vallejo saw my hand. They thought I was toast. And they saw me launch out, they didn't see me land. And then drug me about 20 yards from the Humvee, and I was able to fully grasp the situation. My left leg was sitting on my left thigh, and my right foot was sitting on my right shin. I didn't know that my back was broke, my pelvis and my hip were broke, my femur was broken in 2 places in my right side, 1 place in my left side. 7 ribs were broken, 1 went through my lung, but I had no idea this was going on. We laid there for 5 hours. Anthony and Joe were obviously way more injured than I was, so they went on the first chopper. Coming back to me getting on the chopper, my friend Jeff Rhodes had to put me on a stretcher, and you have to be strapped down, so he had to straighten my legs back out, which was the most painful part of the whole thing. You know, I probably screamed like a Comanche a little bit. They put me out, and I didn't wake up again until Germany. From Germany, I went through, that's where they fused my back together. I got two 12-inch rods with 18 bolts that fused my back. They sent me to Bethesda, Maryland, and while I was there, they amputated both my legs. And then they sent me to Brooks Army Medical Center. While I was there, the doctor there thought that he needed to take me at the hip. My hip, my pelvic bone, and my femur were all kind of broken in the same place. So they put me under, and they wake me up and they say, Justin, you just broke the record for being under. You hit 22 hours, I think it was. And he says, we got to put you back under, but then we're going to wake you up real quick. You know, you were down so long that we had to bring you back. We're going to let you sit like this for a bit, and then we got to go right back in. At that time, I thought I'm losing my hip, because that's what the word was. I guess that doctor had been sending out my x-rays to a bunch of military and civilian doctors. And this guy said, I have an idea, and he hopped on a plane. I have no idea who this guy is. I wish I could find out who he was and buy him a beer, you know. He flew in, he fixed my hip, he put a rod and a plate in there. That is the only reason I can walk today. And flew off back to wherever he was before I ever got to meet him and thank him. I was still able to do other things. I was in a wheelchair mostly, but I was able to get back on a horse again, and I was able to start roping again. My best friend, who I had mentioned earlier, Colton, he was still in high school at the time, and me and him and his dad, Daryl, and we traveled around all over the place roping. When I got back, the first thing that Kathy, when I talked to his mom and dad, they said Colton had joined the Marine Corps the day before I had gotten blown up. He goes into the Marine Corps and becomes a machine gunner like me. Infantry, becomes a machine gunner. He gets stationed with 3-5, which is the most decorated unit in the Marine Corps, at least on the West Coast, going back to World War I. They're just legends. And when Colton told me that, I told him that. I said, dude, you're going to a legendary unit, you know. I think he did 6-7 months training. He actually got picked as a dog handler, where he received his dog Eli, sniffing out bombs. So he had 2 jobs. He'd be up in a turret on a machine gun, bumping firefights and everything else. And then when they'd run into a choke point where they thought there might be IEDs, or just somewhere they've hit IEDs in the past, Colton would hop out with his dog, locate them, and then they'd blow them up and go about their business. I wish I knew how many bombs he found, because I knew it was a lot. I had no idea when I had got there, doing the return to Afghanistan for the Marine Corps, that my best friend would be in part of that invasion going in. We were basically setting up for those guys to come blow through. They're traveling down the road, they hit a bomb, and it wasn't a big bomb, but it jacked up the truck a little bit, and Colton gets out and he finds 2 more. They detonate those. He's putting Eli back in the truck and walking back to the door to get in, and he was killed by a sniper. I come from a very, very, very patriotic town. You know, that was 14 years ago, and you would think it was yesterday. It shook us then, it shakes us now. I mean, it breaks my heart every day. I got back in really heavy into archery. And so I wanted to do something for combat vets. I wanted to do it in Colton's name. And getting back into archery helped me tremendously. So I was like, well, I have a ton of veteran friends, and I said, I'm gonna start. I was in the oil field at the time, I was making good money. I was like, you know, I'm gonna do a bow a month. You know, I'm gonna put a price limit on it. I think it was $650, something like that. And I'm gonna pick one vet a month. And I started out with my friends. And immediately they told me, man, this is awesome. About 12 vets later, I'm like, this unanimously, it was helping. You know, what can we call this thing? But we kept coming back to Darkhorse, you know, and Darkhorse is like another word for 3-5. So we started spitballing that. Darkhorse Archery, man, it sounded good. Fast forward a couple years, and we have given out hundreds of bows to veterans in Colton's name. We were dealing with so much archery things, you know, having to work on bows all the time and stuff like that to send out to people. And we had created a youth program. We started Darkhorse Archery, the bow shop as well. Through that, I had kind of met Fox News' Joey Jones, and he invited me on a bear hunt with Veterans Afield with Mr. Tom Asbo and Mr. Dave Hintosh. It was the first time I had met them in Maine. Sitting around talking, I just kind of mentioned, I said, yeah, it's kind of a big goal of mine is to do a walk and stalk, call in the elk. And I'd mentioned, I was like, but those days are kind of over. You know, you think elk country, it's just mountains and mountains and mountains, and that's hard to do with no legs, you know. Didn't think nothing else of that, all right. But Mr. Tom had heard that, and after the hunt, he said, Justin, I got a place I want you to come out to where we're gonna do some calling and walking and stalking, and I really think we can get you on an elk. I immediately start getting hyped up. I'm training, getting ready. I'm doing a lot of walking, trying to work out more and stuff, getting ready for this. Got out here the first day, hiked 2.5 miles, which as soon as we're doing it, I'm thinking I can do this. Like it was 2.5 pretty hard miles, but we rolled through it pretty easy. We were hearing a bunch of bulls, and then we'd get over there and they'd be on the mountain over next to us again, you know. And we had kind of heard, we were sitting on a mountaintop, and we heard an elk on the mountain next to us. And crossing over there, the only problem was it was at a slant, sheer rocks. So it took us a long time, and I'm not a quiet person on prosthetics and Duquesnes. You know, I'm loud, I'm hitting rocks. I'm thinking, there's no way that elk's just not gonna be blown out of there by the time we get there. That was a heck of a trek to get here. Just had another bugle out of him. Sounds really, really good. Mr. Tom backed up behind us. We're gonna do some calling again and see if we can come into this little open spot right here. Hopefully get a shot. We shall see. We get over to that next mountain. We set up in a good spot and hit that call. He answers. I think about maybe 10, 15 minutes goes by, hits it again, and now he's coming. He's about to come over right there. You see? Can you see? He's at 30 right there. Better draw on it. Yeah, dude, he's pouring. I wanted it to be hard. That's what I wanted. Had I not got an elk, it would have still been a wonderful adventure. It's a high water mark of my prosthetics. You know, I've never walked that much on flat ground, and I just did it in the mountains. You know, I still can't believe it. Until today, I really refuse to believe it. In fact, I had a dream last night that I didn't make it happen. Elk hunting like that, I had for so many years put that out of my mind because it was kind of a painful thing to think about. You know, it's like, you know, wishing I could do jumping jacks again. You know, why? You know, it's just one of those things. It's not a tangible dream.
What kind of emotions are you feeling right now?
I just never thought this would happen, ever, especially the way we did it. I mean, this is in no way any kind of canned hunt. We've been walking probably 10 miles the last couple days, but I wanted it to be this hard. I wanted it to be hard. And this is exactly how I pictured it in my head. I just can't believe it's happening. If I wake up, I'm gonna be one upset dude. Veterans Afield and Mossy Oak making this happen for me. I cannot thank them enough, and I'm as authentic as I can. This was such a wonderful thing for me. I never thought it would happen, and now it's happened. And I can't thank y'all enough. Mossy Oak, Dave Hintosh, Tom Asbo, everyone at Veterans Afield. I'm gonna hang this bull in my bow shop and hang my arrow right underneath them with my step count underneath it. I'll look at it every day, and it'll mean so much to me.
To Corporal Justin Rokohl, thank you for your service. Everyone at Mossy Oak is honored to know you.